architecture, environment, space could influence to the life of, to the feelings of happiness or something?
I absolutely believe on this, because you know, when you come to the house, these spaces, I'm talking about the spaces as environmental, as you say.
Что значит жить в мини-полисе Серебрица? Просыпаться утром под шелест листвы и пение птиц. Работать в столице и отдыхать с семьей на природе. Наслаждаться каждым днем. Мини-полис Серебрица. Стоит поселиться.
These spaces can, some places you go, it can make you sad. Some places you go, you are happier. You don't know why. I think this is the reason. When you see, I mean, you know that better. When I walked in Moscow in different buildings, different artistic work, when you go to and see some building, you feel like you can. I had the feeling in Moscow that I can't stay anymore, because it makes me so free, so get in love with that place, you know, that it was, I had to sit, please give me some chair, I had to sit on the floor, because I thought, wow, how strong this is. You see, I didn't read, maybe, I can't speak in Russian, but I understood a lot in that building about Russian culture. I understood a lot about the literature. In childhood years, I was very in love with literature, Russian literature. I read Sholokhov, I read, of course, Dostoevsky's like all, and Tolstoy 3 times, and 4 times, and 5th time to understand it in my language, of course. And so this is, I was in the building. I don't want to call one buildings, but I saw, wow, this is it. I read in the walls, in this art. Maybe this artist or that architect never read that Sholokhov book, but I saw that picture, and this is that it make it. And how can an architect, and how can an artist make something that they give a foreigner who is coming from 8,000 kilometers away, give this feeling? And this is what I try in my projects. It's not about the form. It's maybe some people talk, oh, you make a form, some others, but it's not about the form, that it should be a box. No, I try like when I do that in my 7 years old with my uncle. He told me, you have to push that calligraphy things and push it away. You have to go the freedom, and I try to give it in all this building, this feeling which I had in with 7. How I love this calligraphy, how I make it free. I bring you in my project. I try to bring the people in my project to close their eyes. They come to the elevator, and suddenly they are in an apartment, and they the eyes going, and this moment that you say, wow, this is what in art, when I draw something, when you walk, for example, in the river in Moscow, and suddenly it's turned, and you say, wow, what a picture. This moment, this is important in my drawing, in my architecture, in my life, in my love.
And explain me, please, connection with calligraphy, architecture and calligraphy.
I mean, calligraphy is a part of art, actually, and I don't say that is the calligraphy, but everything in art is close to each other. Is a part of that calligraphy. Is part of the painting. Is part of that moment that I see a beautiful woman in front of me, like you, and I see. I saw you. I remember. I have to tell also the story. In 2012, I thought the first time I met the director of the Museum of Architecture in Moscow, and I saw, wow, this is, I don't know, this moment. You know, I saw you. You came to me and you wanted to start. So, wow, this is the director, because I was in contact with your people, and this moment, this is, it gets you. You know. We find each other in that moment, and this moment was for me to respect it, and I respect it today, and we will respect it in all my life, I think. This is environment, architecture, spaces, art, calligraphy, drawings, painting. It's all about this moment, I think. All about this point. Some people call it God, some people call it love. Some people call it, I don't know. I think this is the moment that Mr. Tolstoy find it very fast. Sometimes I see that and it's disappear, but some guys like Dostoevsky saw that every day in their life, I think, and they could write such a amazing works, which is today is like someone is living here and talk about their life, and that's architecture, that's the calligraphy, that's the art. And this moment is for me this emotional, this changing of your feeling. I try to translate it in architecture. Of course, with the beton and glass and such a hard material, it's not easy. But I try to translate it, and the feedback of the people who live in some of buildings, if it's a villa, if it's an apartment, if it's an office building, the feeling that sometimes they call and they say, wow, thank you very much, because I have things, or I have this moment, I'm so happy. They show us some of project now after 15, 17 years. One of my first projects that I did, they showed that in the Austrian TV last week. And it's, you say, okay, in a lot of buildings, in the last 20 years, they built a lot of buildings here. Why they show it again, that one? And this is that you say, thanks, I think you make it the right way. You are in the right things. And that's all about. It's not about calligraphy. I'll come back. About this moment, about the love, about the God, or whatever you want to call it.
My friend, an architect, told me this story. Pretty woman, his client, tell him, please make me, design me a house where I will be happy. And he answered, I design you excellent house, but happiness you should bring yourself.
Yeah.
And I think she needs you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Exactly, I think different. I say definitely the art and artists. You go to some museum, you go to some concert. The artist who make piano or whatever it is can make you very sad. He can make you happy in 40 minutes, 45 minutes that you're saying. You cry sometimes. And he bring you, in the end, maybe he make you happy, or no, in sadness he keep it and you go away. This is the same like ours. This is a part of art. This is a part of love. And this is what we can make the spaces. Definitely we can make some spaces that make you unhappy. Of course, the role of our architect is that we believe that we can make the world beautifuler. There is no architect that is say, I make a sad building. All architects try to make something which is positive, we should be optimistic. And we believe on better world, of course, whatever. The worst architect in the world believe on that he make it.
Norman Foster say me we are an architect, and we should be optimists.
Exactly.
It's part of profession.
Yes, this is it. And therefore, I can never say to the client that happiness is what you have to find. Of course the life is, but I'm sure that you make like a movie. I say always my student, you see these advertisement films are the best films because you have like 30 seconds or 40 seconds, 45 seconds to show all the story about this product. You have to bring a woman comes, push things and jump in the water. Everything is clear in the building, you see that fruit, the material, and so this is like our architecture. You have to think who is going to live here, who is going to do some things, and who is going to, in this building, this lady will be fight with his boyfriend, husband, or whoever, with children. They will have a bad time and good time. How can you try to give them some sense when they turn and they are sad in the room? Suddenly you open some things to show her. You have to, of course, watch around the area and make that opening, and say, wow, it's like this moment which I talked before. To give her this moment. And this is I think which I try to in my project, and then I think I can believe that it gives to the happiness. Last one project I didn't call her, but we can maybe call her and meet her. She told me she wrote me, she's not living, she didn't buy this building, she rent the apartment. And she heard about us, and she invited me to home. And so she wrote me in WhatsApp, you are the architect of the house which I rent. And you can't believe how happy I am in this building. And I thank you. She's renting, isn't it? And she sent me time to time she buys something, some sculpture, and she put it in the thing, and she make a photo and send me. This is, I think, we never met each other. She never told me what she wants. I make for the other client, he rent his apartment, but I give her. I knew that in this building will be two people, maybe with one child, maybe or not. They don't have a child. I thought about this thing, and I thought, which moments can I give this family where they shall eat and drink, where they shall eat and watch TV, and this is what she understood, and she wrote me always. They paid like 3,000 euro for this 100 square meter apartment, 110 square meter in very bad area in Vienna, 10th district. When I tell the people they can rent in the first district, actually the same, but this is this moment, and this is this which I give without we knew each other, but she find it and she wrote, I will show you the WhatsApp messages that's the same, and this is the happiness. The happiness is that will make me also happy that I'm right. Of course I have mistakes, like everyone, but the mistakes make us stronger, and of course I can do for that lady that you say that, wow, the happiness one, but I'm sure that I can give her some feeling without being there actually, and writing her a book. You have to read this book to live here. No, to just walking and seeing, and this is what I try in my projects.
Question. An architect spend half of life in the working place. It's a profession, part of profession. And how to organize ideal space for architectural creative work, for office part, and what for your ideal working space?
Working space, I mean, I started work and very small office, very small office, very nice, which I live also there. I didn't leave it.
Your own office?
My own office, it was very small, which I live, and more or less I live, because I slept there. The first project, you know, when you make the first project day and nights, I was 3-4 nights on the office. My wife and my first daughter, she was like 2-3 months, they came to office. We ate together and they gone home, and I stayed there. Because I couldn't sleep actually, because I had to. It was my first project. I had to finish it very good, and the spaces is of course very important. It's like life. It's a part of life. You can this. I try to learn it after 10 or 15 years now to close it, to go, to be. But even if I'm in with family, I always think about it. Is in my head. Is still in office actually. I'm maybe physically not there, not here in office, but I'm mentally I'm there, and I draw also. I sketch it, I write it. Now with the new technology, I make it very fast. I found some message for myself, sending to remember what I thought in that moment, and this thought should come in the paper later when I'm in office. Is you can say that's the separate is, even if you are physically not in office, you are in office wherever as an art, and because in art job is like a feeling when you get in love. How is that? You got such a hot things on face, you know. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be in the worstest place in the world, I think, and you are so happy because of this energy, and this energy. As when you are artist or architect, I think this is the happiest person in life you are, because you still always in love. Imagine that someone is always in love and find some other partner in the art and architecture. Each new project is like my new love, and that makes me so happy. It doesn't matter if I'm here. Of course I love here because I remember, I walk around and we see and we remember, that project we organize all old model also to remember it. But it's like you walk in paradise, and you see this positive energy which comes to you even if you are not here. For me, this place of office is not so important actually, which I love of course here to be in office, but even if I'm sitting in the restaurant or in coffee shop or some coffees or with friends and so on, you start to draw, you start to record. this is this love. You are with friends when you are in love, when you are 16, 17. You remember, you physically you are there, but your head is with that girl or with that boy. You know, this is the same to me today. I'm going to be 50 next year, 50 years old. But it's still that feeling, and it keeps me very young actually. Always when the people say, "Boss, you are 49 and 50," I can't even. What? I am 50? I can't believe it. And I think this is just the reason of this.
Everything changed, and you know, in generation of our parents, in 50 it was old people.
Very old.
But now it's beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's changed.
Because I
Thanks
think
God.
it's because of open mind. Change everything in mind.
Yeah. It's just in mind. There is no physical. I mean, sometimes, of course, you see in your body that it's not working like for 20 years ago, but it's.
Armin, and how exactly this place appeared in your life? Why you choose this place? I mean, location.
Yeah.
And what about surroundings? And also, I would like to understand your system organizing working space here. It's spectacular, or what else?
It's this area. I mean, this is very close to university, Vienna University of Technology. I teach from 1997 till 2012, 2013 in university. Is very close by walk, and a lot of my students always comes here, and that was one of the main reason actually. The second reason is in Vienna is in between two big park, Belvedere. There is a palace of Belvedere here, which they are the works of Egon Schiele. Egon Schiele is one of my heroes in my life, and I walk always there to the museum and watch his works, and remembering give some energy, some positive idea, and actually very central also. You can walk to the center of the city like 10 minutes, and all this, and it's very close to which I live in the 5th district, which I live is very close also, and yeah, it's very accidentally actually I'm here, and I'm happy that I'm here. I mean, I love to have a office which is, even if it's like 3-4 meter, but 20-50 meter long, to see everything what happens is because of this old building which they build for 12-year-100, 13-year-100, like 800, 900. This building is like 250 or 300 years old. You know, the walls are like 90 centimeter things. Is not easy to open all these things and make it. Because of this situation, I have to be like pop with the office. This is the only things which disturb me. Otherwise, the height of the things is like 4 meter, the rooms, and it's a good air, the people can work better, I think, and I'm here.
I see that here make some interesting mixture. The typical Austrian architecture, yeah? No, empire architecture, old one, historical one. You make a little bit modern, and also a little bit Iranian.
Yeah. You know, in my point of view, I say I really have respect to the tradition. It's very important to respect the tradition for each one. But we are the generation which we came, and we want to also leave some message for the future. I always say, how can we give this message to the world? How can we show this message to our children? If I'm doing buildings, for example, in this case, because this is a good mix of traditional buildings, and we make a new one on the top. I say if we are doing this new, I can't make it like it was before, cause like this traditional architect 45 degrees, just like so small windows on the roof. They say we have to give also our message, our idea, our philosophy to the future, to my children, or in 100 years ago, what generation was here, and to give this signature in the city and show show the city also that it was a generation, like the beginning of modernist. It was also very hard to that. But now you have a lot of respect, a lot of building. Even in Austria, you go and you see some modernists that is wow, that is good, because they came and they leave this message in this city. Even this such a conservation area city. Time to time you find some signature of that time to leave this message, and that's why. Okay, the next point is, as you say, I grow up in Iran. I do this culture. I see this ornamental point in my culture, and this ornament, I try to change this ornament in the modern way, actually. To what was the idea of the ornament behind this ornament? How was it when you go to the Orient? You walk on the things. This line which is in art, this line which is in a cultural area or a mosque, bring you. If you go to the mosque, for example, it brings you to the center. How it worked there, that you go to the mosque and it brings you to that area which the holy place is. This ornament, I use it in my buildings. I bring it the same in modern way and mix it with this technology which I learned here. And I think that was the success point from one of my success lines, are which I could mix these two together in the right way to bring this ornamentally, not so banal like it is here in artistic things, because it's
banal, but with love.
With love, of course, for there. But how can you bring it? You can bring it here and show that's it. But I changed this line, exactly the same system, the same line on the project. You know, this ornamentally suddenly becomes.
Interesting.
Yeah, you sit on the things. The shadow of one of my project, I will show you also later. The shadow is suddenly like this ornament. The shadow.
But your architecture looks like no decoration. It looks like very constructive and maybe sometimes a little bit deconstruction,
Yeah.
a little bit. But it's not. I have feelings that it's not about decoration. It's the thinking with construction and environment.
Exactly, and that love, that energy, this energy for who is going to live, and it makes changes. Is flowing of this energy, and therefore, and that corner becomes the form change itself. It's not like that box, which a lot of many. When by the time which I learned architecture here in German, it was also just box. We have to present the professor just a box. No, it's not a box. It's changed the data, the information. It's changed the form of this box. That's what I try. Then the feeling can change it. To give it this wow effect was important, and that's what I did. And therefore, it is actually you see that we break the lines in each project. It's break. It's not the same line always, and it depends to that situation actually.
Right. In your opinion, the office, studio, it's hub which connect important places of life, which connect people, clients, architects, your team, and so on with each other. And it's hub or it's spatial ambience for creativity. What is, or both?
Actually, it's a mix of all. I'm a little bit traditional also. I see that this office not like this modern Google or I don't know what offices is. I see that like a family, and we are sitting together more with the people here.
How much people you have?
Yeah, they are like we have different parties. We have like 8 people who are sitting here, and they are some others which they are sitting like 5 also in the other places. The second places which they have more. Here is the area which we design in this office, and the other office which we have there is a connection with the construction companies and yeah exactly. Yeah. And we try to be here, keep it like a family, like a love part, let's say, like a creative part, and the other things which I'm also very often, and then there are also these construction people that we make the hard things and the tone glass, but the hard material to try to sell this fine, beautiful things. Make it in real, and that happens here. But in the end, that I say I been a little bit traditionally because I see that as a family. It's not just platform people comes and goes. No, it's just. It should be this energy, because the people feel when they come in these rooms and they go, they feel that's the right place. And if you do that like that family, like this, and you give this message to the people, I think they come and say always, because there's a lot of stuff in our office. There's no beautiful, no clean always, and they say, okay, we believe that we are in right place. This is the architectural office. We understand. This is nice, and this is. I see the good feedback from the clients or the people who visit us, and they trust us. Some of clients bring me the bank because they work with the banks, and so they bring the director of bank here. They say this is good. When they are here, they feel there is energy here. First time which we came here, we got this energy, and now we bring our bank or our investor also here. Then you have to talk to them, and I believe that should be some things here, which some magic things, let's say, like these witches. And I think we architects are like witches. You know, the people went ding, and they say, "Wow, we want to give you the art." This feeling is here, I think. In 2002, 2003, I think it comes some client to us to design for him a yacht. Expensive yacht, and I start the design. I show you the picture, as you see maybe here now on the table. And at the same time, there is another client coming to us and asking. He has a traditional Austrian Viennese house from 1800, and he told me that he wants to extend it, if it's possible to extend and bring some floor on it. It was the rules say like 1 or 2 floors. We start to research about the area and so on, and the beginning of each project I go always to watch, and I saw that there is a construction site close but in neighborhood. I just jumped to the roof of the neighborhood, and suddenly I came here because the old roof was here on this. I thought, wow, what a beautiful city. It's like a sea. It's like waves of ocean. I said, wow, the yacht should come actually here, and we have to put the yacht on this thing. And this is the first idea which we try. Of course, we had the respect to that area, this corner. We translate a new head, a new couple, which they use it in the traditional one. In a modern way, we try to make these lines and respect to the rules with 45 degree, but this 45 degree, we broke the lines, we bring it to 90 degree. Actually, if you are in this corner, you are like 90 degree, you can stand. And for me, it was important, the people who are in the roof trace, when they walk and they stand it, have the feeling to see this yacht feeling. The clouds goes around the sky, you stand there, the wind comes, and you are at your home. Even in the middle city of Vienna, actually. And as we see in we will see that other days, you will hopefully you have this feeling that I had on the other days, and trying to translate, trying to save the language of me, a new language to this old building, to combine this together, and a little bit of spicy color I give, the saffron color, because very close to that project is another project of mine, and we wanted to show that's the same person, even if the shapes are different. This is from the same architect or some artist did, but with different time, with different feelings, with different. You see, in each project we talk about the ornament. I take these ornamental things in triangles, which is very, very important in the traditional ornamental artistic world in Middle East. We put this ornament, we broke it, and we translate it in the new design, that it makes like some sign. If you go to this street, which I show also in the film, it shows like a hand, like a finger. It shows here it is. And what is here? Here, when you come, the city goes like this, the topography. And if you stand here, you see from here that empire buildings of Austrian Empire from 500 years ago. And this is like directly, but it shows this is something important, and like 1 kilometer away from here. And you see the garden, and these lines show you. We see that on that corner actually picture. You see that the last one on that corner. It shows like just small finger is a very, very, very nice traditional building. I mean, the modern one try to say I have respect to that one. This is what we use in our design. Or another client coming from Dubai, and he want to make some villa, very nice villa, but the family and the culture of them, that the ladies, they close their faces and they don't want to see anything no privacy, but at the same time shall the people go inside. We try to make it to outside and to the neighbor very close with some simple lines, which it comes, it goes. You have the feeling that is like a calligraphy. Also, again, let's say in Arabic language, like simple line. And the other side of that part, we open transparent to the sea, because the sea is here and no neighbor, no one can see you. Very, very open that side. Very close to this side. You see in some way, in some lines, this traditional Arabic one in modern way, which is actually very European, because no one will understand it. That is not, but is a language for in Dubai. In my childhood years, actually, I was very in love with the Star Treks and Star Wars, and I still have this love actually to these figures. And today, when some client of mine comes and asking me for doing a small, there is in Austria some rules. You can have in your villa like 30 square meter. In your garden you can have a house. He has like 2,000 square meter, but he wanted to run away from his wife, and he told me, please make something which is modern. At the same time, 30 square meter. You have to very modern. I want to show I'm a rich person, let's say. But at the same time, I want to close it and no one can disturb me. We make like the ship that is coming from the sky and landed in the garden of them. The door opens itself automatically, and he goes to this his area. He can see the family, or he can close the windows, and he can shower, working area, and sleeping area or sitting area for his guests. That make this project make really so much fun. The same like what we did 1 million square meter maybe in Tehran, which we designed a entertainment center. It's not a question of the square meter. It's not a question of the scale. I think in art and in architecture is a question of love. It's a question of feeling that you have, and that moment which we talk today many times about it. It's a question of feeling that you have, and that moment which we talk today many times about it. You know, or there is a client of us coming to us and so me, Armin, there is a red milieu area in Vienna, in 14th district. That's the lady stand up at the street, and there is a train going close to this building. He told me, I buy a building which is really horrible, because the train goes and no one want to buy under that area which the train and red milieu. What can I do? I told him the problem is red milieu and train. We make it red color and a train on the building, and we say to people, if you go now, you go inside. I make the feeling in the corridor like we make like the windows of a train with mirror, that the movement. I translate this. The movement movement of that you go, you have the feeling that you are in train, you see the movement, always the color design of the train in our way of understanding, and then on the top is like this. If you go now to the Munich or to the west, to Paris or wherever you go with the train close to this building, and it was very interesting because he sell this building, I think 2 times or 3 times expensive than other buildings in the city, in the center. The ladies who buy this building, I told her, you have so much money you spend. I love it because I have. If you see also in this picture, it's again this line help us to give her some other feeling, which I don't know what it is today. I mean, I did it for me because of, but she saw some things that this line change her idea, and she got something because I never want to live close to the trains way. You know, it's so a little bit hard to, and the another buildings, this is the neighborhood, we put it together. He came to me, I was in this building, wow, what a building, can you do something for us? And we start again to design for him some things, because I saw, okay, this is higher, it's going down, we have to translate it like flowing from here to these things, and that's the again the answer of us to this situation actually.
Do you dream to construct your own private house, not apartment, not have your idea, no, like Cabanon by Corbusier, like famous houses that architects projected and like dream.
Yeah, I mean, of course, every architect who say no is lying. Everyone want to have to make it one day. I don't know, but I never say this is what I want, because every day, every month, every year you are in some feeling, some energy feeling, and at that time you think like that. Of course, I would love also to have or to make it, but I never thought actually about it. But I hope. I think also a lot about this environment. That why should I have such a, like 2,000, 1,000, I don't know, 300, 400, 500 when I can live in 100 or 200 square meter, very lucky. And so, I mean, there is a phrase in Farsi language. They say the guy who make this design this earlier time, it was the water always in some box. I don't know what the word in English is, that they put the water. Who make these things always drink from some broken he has never by himself, but I would love, of course, to have. But each client or each project, when someone comes to us,
step to your house.
Huh? This is
each project step to your
a step. There's another step. He comes and say, I want to have a villa. It's that we make just like thick, and we push it in there like that calligraphy again. You come and you push it way away, and you say, of course, the next model is easier to understand, and so they're living here, the children, and then living, and from each corner you give this freedom. This is what I learned at 7.
Is realized?
We are going to realize it. That painting, you remember that this is the client is the lady which I paint her also. That she was I saw her and I saw her things, and it comes also from meeting her, and we designed that small houses actually. But every house is part of me. One day maybe. Hopefully, I do that also for myself.
And I see that this environment not only for people, but also it's special place for your creativity. The models like your architecture with it's maybe general hero.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I love my children. I really love, like I'm a human being, and every human being loves the children. But when you go here through this, in these other rooms, and so we have always like standing all models which we make, and so it's like your children, you know. If the lady comes who clean this thing, sometimes it's falling some food and she put it away. It's like, you know, someone comes and push something your children. They say, no, please bring it back or clean it. You should fix it. You know, if it's, we don't need it anymore. Actually, we have to put it because we build it. It's finished, and so. But I can't push them away. It's like your child, like you're like a story. Life is like a story, telling a story. This is our job, and this is also in the office when I work. It's like a story of my life, and it kept me also young actually, because I remember, for example, this project I made.
Tell me, it's a story when you was with client the same mentality, who trust you, and you did what you want.
The first project I won in the competition, and when they saw me, he told me, one of my old clients who saw me, he told me, I saw you, I'm definitely not giving him the project to make, even if you won, because he didn't saw me, and then we start to talk, and when I talk, I try to tell the stories of the project, and so he got in love with the story actually, which I told him. I show him a future that we couldn't see in that moment, but I show him this idea. How can it work? I mean, he'd like it, the project, but he told me, how can he do that? You know, but he trusts me. Now, of course, after many years, a lot of people call me. I was watching that project of you, and I asked for the architect, and I saw, wow, okay, this is. How did you make it? How can you give the permission? Because it's not allowed in this part of city. How did you do it? Can I order you? And of course, I do always some sketches, and I try to give part of my personality actually in each project. And this is which I go and I walk on that area, I watch the area, I send the people 24 hours sometimes.
How you realize you manifest here in your working professional space? It's realizing here, or it's different things?
I think in life you go to find something, one point. This point, geometrical point of view, actually is nothing, you know, because there is no point. If you push your hand, I think there is some point which is not here, and I'm looking for this, and there is, you work like 20, 30, 50, 100 projects, maybe from this 100 or 200 projects which we make, or 300 I think, or I don't know, I don't want to know that today. It's like 30, 35 to 40 we build. You can't say this is the end and I got it. You look for another one, look for this is what you don't say, what you can say what it is. I'm trying. And this is which I believe also, that I run for some things which is not finished. It's not finished, and I can't say that I celebrate now because it's that perfect one. No, I'm looking for something which I don't know where it is today, and I hope that I see a little bit some sense of that before I die.
And how is life for you here in Austria?
I mean, for someone who has a dark skin, dark hair is not easy in the West country. It's definitely. And I respect the Austrian. I'm an Austrian actually. I got Austrian nationality.
It was easy to receive citizenship?
It is not easy, of course. But I think my university, I got from because professor in university wrote letter to the major of city, that is some guy that you have to ask, please take him because he's like very good and he's
and what was the reaction of your family, parents?
I didn't told them a lot about these things. I mean, I always told them, because you know, just in Iran, in the city which I grew up, or in this area which I grew up, the people are so thinking very small actually. And I told them that I'm in university. My uncle told to my mother, don't believe him. He says, I was finished with my school, university, and they invite me to New York, which I had a lecture and I had a workshop and so. And I called my mother. Mom, if you call me to Austria, because it wasn't iPhone, and so if you call there, I'm not there. I'm in New York, and she told me, what are you doing in New York, in United States of America? Yeah, I said, yes. What are you doing there? I said, in the school I'm teaching. What? You told me that you are finished. I said, yes, Mom, I'm finished, but I do a workshop and teaching. No, wait. How can I never forget this sentence of her. How can someone be in foreign and from foreign going to the foreign countries again? It's not possible. How can it be? I say, Mom, it's possible. I'm here. But I go back to Austria after finishing this workshop. And say, but she said, okay. But later, 10 years later or 15 years later, the Iranian TV was making some documentary about my life. And she saw that, and she called me on that evening, which they show in, 20 years, I explained her what I'm doing, she told me, no, I believe you really finished your school, you study. No, you are not. I said, Mom, you didn't believe me in the last 20 years? And that was really, because, I told them, I wrote them, it was not email at that time, and so, but I wrote them, no one believed me actually, I think, and I didn't want to tell them. Now, of course, after that, you read, the newspaper wrote a lot, and then she goes, wow, yeah, then they trust, okay. Because the family members, they talk also, yes, he say, lot of people, and one other thing was very interesting, because Iranian, Persian, they are very good, famous medical doctor, as you hear maybe also. It's a lot of medicine doctor. They are, and she told me I was meeting some family and some friends, and so they said, where is your son? He's in Europe. Oh, what is doing? What he's doing? I said, he studied architecture. I said, what? He studied architecture, and they look like this. What is the problem? I say, not medicine, not doctor, he's not going to be a doctor.
In Austria, you try to, you spread a little bit Iranian culture, or it's your own, or you spread your person.
I think it's more person who has the memories, who has the remembering of that time. Because I never had a book of these ornamental things to copy, and that time it was not internet when I study, when I make for internet comes in last 20 years. Very getting right.
What's your favorite music?
I love traditional, also Iranian traditional. Traditional wherever, also in Russian. I like it. But I grew up with the Sting. Or I don't know, Cat Stevens, the 60 music from 60 years, 1960, 1969, all these things. The oldies actually, more or less. I'm a little bit old man now. I still love that old things.